On the other hand, 19th century amateur scholars misinterpret Plato's narrative as historical tradition, most famously Ignatius Donnelly in his Atlantis, the antediluvian world. Plato's vague indications of the time of the events more than 9,000 years before his time, and the alleged location of Atlantis gave rise to much pseudoscientific speculation as a consequence. Atlantis has become a byword for any and all supposed advanced prehistoric lost civilizations and continues to inspire contemporary fiction from comic books to film. While present day philologists, okay, while present day philologists and classicists agree on the story's fictional nature, there is still debate on what served as its inspiration. Plato is known to have freely borrowed some of his allegories and metaphors from older traditions, as he did with the story of Gyges, or is it Gyges. This led a number of scholars to suggest possible inspiration of Atlantis from Egyptian records to the Thera eruption, the Sea Peoples. Oh, we were just talking about them. The Sea
Yep.
Peoples invasion, or the Trojan War, and that's what we were talking about with Troy.
Yep.
Others have rejected this chain of tradition as implausible and insist that Plato created an entirely fictional account, drawing loose inspiration from contemporary events such as the failed Athenian invasions of Sicily because of the destruction of Life in 373 BC.
Now,
And
right
then,
there is where I stopped reading and everything. Now, before we go on further, I mean, what's your just on that reading? What's your take of
I feel as though he has a way that he knows, like he's making his story based off of current events, true events that actually took place. But he presented it kind of like you're doing with your story, how you do your story every day,
it? Right.
because he's making it to where it's an incorporation of stuff that's real, but he maybe might perhaps exaggerated or embellished on some of the details, making it to be more interesting. But in the account too, just because you know how sometimes people can get like visions or get to where they're able to have interpretations of certain type of events based off of like not really realizing where it's coming from, but they're being shown it from other entities and stuff like that. In which regards that could very well be possible. And if it is possible, then I feel as though most likely he wrote based off of his experience, embellished the work just a little bit in order to make it more intriguing. And then that's kind of the part that people attempted to discredit. Also, too, as well, more so, people might have been attempting to disassociate the concept because of its secrecy, just because of the sacredness as well as secrecy of not wanting people to really travel there or to, because I hear it's a very mystical place, and
Yeah.
as a result, that usually results in like it can bring you power. And if there was a way to access an extreme amount of power, you would attempt to minimize it or at least keep it hidden as best as you could if you were in a position to be able to, as well as feeling as though you'd be less benefited if you were to expose the true nature of it. Excuse me.
Oh, it's fine. I, I, when I look at the stories behind it and everything, the one thing that stands out to me is the fact that it does bring Egypt into the whole equation. Everybody always falls back on Egypt, you know. And for me, what I've learned about Egypt during those times was that Egypt was where everybody went for education. Okay, yeah, they might have had the
And that's right there where the Phoenicians were.
you know, they might have had like the Great Pyramids and everything, and they might not have been the same as the people up in Europe, like around Greece and Italy was, but they understood that great knowledge came out of freaking Egypt. And there are other things that have been discussed when it comes to Now I gotta try to get it off that freaking. I've got the map zoomed in.
Oh, I was. Well, see, I don't see the map. I was looking at the map on mine. I should have screen shared. I was looking at the map on mine, and I'm looking at its relation to Africa as far as location. And
Yeah,
you see where it has Atlantis here, then you see America, and then you see this map makes me feel like it's backwards because is America not supposed to be on the left and then Africa on the right? Like, what is
yeah.
this
I'm
about?
thinking that was because of photography. Whenever they took the picture, and then
It's a reflection.
they added it to wherever they added it to, it could have flipped. Now I could be wrong, but that does happen.
Yeah, but yeah, what if it's a
I
deeper
see
meaning?
that too.
I thought I was losing it. I mean, I might still be losing it, but it's
Now
definitely made no sense.
I believe I put it down on my my screen share.
Let me see.
Can you see
Let
it?
me see. No, my screen is blank on your screen. It's just black. It's not even the chat anymore. Because
Oh,
usually I can see the chat. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I see it now.
okay. I just wanted to make sure, and now I've got to try to. I've got to try to get
Mm-hmm.
out of the picture. Usually I hit freaking escape and it just does it. But now I guess there's some kind of different code that goes into it. Some
Oh, you're being hacked. Severely hacked. That's very well possible. Seems as much as so. But you have three screens on here. You do see that, right? It's usually just two, but there's three
yeah.
of you now.
Now
Perhaps something's glitching because of that.
the reason for that is because I want on the stream you're gonna see after it's done recording and everything you're gonna see another screen that shows what I've been going over and stuff like that.
Ah, that's what I usually do see, and I think it's so cool because I see our like Jitsi chat on the top of the stream, and then I see what you're usually referring to or reading. Like, what's never our chat. Like on in Jitsi, I can see our chat, but I don't ever see the chat, or at least I never pay attention. But I never see the chat on the stream. I
Yeah.
usually see something like the information that you're presenting. So, okay, what you're saying makes sense there. That makes sense.
Now
But look at the and so the sea people. They did just mention the sea people in here as well. Or were you going to say something else? Because I was going
no,
to ask
I'm
about
good to
that
go.
correlation.
I'm good to go, man.
Okay,
I can
there is.
now this right here is kind of what uh, was talking about. Like this is what they were talking about, and
Yeah.
the other continent, there was lost continents besides Atlantis.
Yeah, that's what I was asking you because you said there were other cities that were like continents. So, what besides Atlantis that are supposedly underwater, under as well?
Let me pull it up. I want to make sure I got the names right. Um, let's see here. No, they'll first always mention the lost continent of Atlantis, but like on here you have it's Lemuria. Have you ever heard of the lost
Lemuria.
continent of Lemuria?
No, I'm looking it up now. Laws.
It's
Of
Lemura.
Lemuria. Oh, wow. Look how pretty the water is around there.
Now, Lemuria was a continent proposed in 1864 by zoologist Philip Slater, theorized to have sunk beneath the Indian Ocean, later appropriately by occultists in supposed accounts of human origins. The theory was discredited with the discovery of plate tectonics and continental drift in the 20th century. The hypothesis was proposed as an explanation for the presence of lemur fossils in Madagascar and the Indian subcontinent, but not in Africa or the Middle East. Biologist Ernest Haeckel's suggestion in 1870 that Lemuria could be the ancient home of humans caused the hypothesis to move beyond the scope of geology and zoogeography, ensuring its popularity outside of the framework of the scientific community. Occultist and founder of Theosophy, Helen Blavatsky, during the latter part of the 19th century, placed Lemuria in the system of her mystical religious doctrines, claiming that this continent was the homeland of the human ancestors, whom she called Lemurians. The writings of Blavatsky had a significant impact on Western esotericism, popularizing the myth of Lemuria and its mystical inhabitants. Theories about Lemuria became untenable when, in the 1960s, the scientific community accepted Alfred Wegener's theory of continental drift, presented in 1912, but the idea lived on in the popular imagination, especially in relation to the Theosophist tradition. And I also do want to add that I did find a lot of influence with the Theosophical Society when it comes to a lot of the people who discusses this topic, like Graham Hancock.
The people.
Yeah, like Graham Hancock, for example. A lot of the stuff he discusses is has to do with a lot of the things that are closely connected to the Theosophical Society. You know what I mean? So, and there was a big thing that came up in the conspiracy theory net groups. You know what I mean, about him being a Freemason and stuff like that. But for me, I think he's more of a member of the Theosophical Society more than anything else, other than being a Freemason. But the Freemasons, yeah, they believed in.
Wait, hold on.
You know who I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah. No, say it again, because it's like cutting out.
I was like,
You sound like a
Graham.
robot, honestly.
No, what exactly was it that you
Yeah,
didn't?
Graham Hughes. No, I don't know him.
Yeah,
That
Graham.
part, I heard his name, but that I didn't know. You're saying he's a Freemason?
No, a lot. There was people that has made comments that he might have been a Freemason, but I see him more as being a member of the Theosophical Society.
Graham Hughes. I'm looking him up now. Is it G? Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah,
They said
Graham
this man is an
Hancock.
actor. Hold on, wait a minute.
Graham Hancock.
This can't be the right person.
Here, I can type the name in the chat for you.
When I look him up, they say that he's an the Odyssey Expedition. Is that what I'm looking at?
No,
The I am the Odyssey.
you got the name.
I apologize. The background's going to be loud for a little while, because I
It's
can't
fine.
keep muting you and talk to you. And then
It's
I
fine.
apologize. Thank you.
Now, did you?
I didn't look it up. I looked him up, but I didn't type it. Oh, let me see how you wrote it. See, this is how I spelled it. It's like I apologize. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Just
don't worry about it.
like way about it.
It's fine.
As long as you're good, then I'm good. It's your show. It's very